The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Miami Heat today. Can the Chicago Bulls keep up their winning ways? This is an opponent that the Chicago Bulls could very well face in the play-in tournament this year. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you know what we got to do first?
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it for today, y'all. The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Miami Heat today. This is a team that throughout their last 10 have gone 4-6 over that last 10. They have the 13th best net rating in the game of basketball due to the Miami Heat, 16th offensive, 13th defensive. They also have the 10th true shooting percentage in the NBA and 10th effective field goal shooting percentage as well in the NBA. This is also a team that likes to move the ball around. 8th in assist percentage in the league as well. Now, where are the Miami Heat a little susceptible at, right? A, they don't get a lot of steals. B, they are 24th in the league in offensive rebounding. So if the Bulls attack the defensive boards, it could get them a lot more opportunities in this game. Now, on the flip side of that, they are the 8th best defensive rebounding team in the league over the last 10 games and the 3rd best defensive rebounding team on the season. So this is a team where the second chance points are not going to come very often, theoretically, against the Miami Heat. So the Bulls are going to have to be very prepared. Jalen Smith, Zach Collins are going to be really important for the Chicago Bulls in this game and their ability to rebound. And, of course, Josh Giddey, Kobe's, Modest. Rebounding as a team is going to really be important. We're going to have to attack those boards, both offensively and defensively, because that's where the Bulls can find their angle at to try to get into this game. So we'll see what happens with the Bulls here, how well Billy Donovan has them ready to go. But they got to be prepared, man. If they're not prepared, it could be a very, very ugly game for them real quick. And so the Bulls got to be prepared, man. This has been a team that's been playing with a lot more heart here recently. You love to see that from this team. You just love to see a team. I don't care if you're a pro tanker or anti-tanker. I don't care where you are. Seeing your basketball team play with the heart and determination that this team has been playing with should actually be a positive for you, right? Too many people complaining about the Bulls playing with heart, like you want to see your team roll over and lay down. Come on now. What are we doing here, man? Let's understand what's going to happen here, bro. So this team is this team's been playing with heart. This team's been playing with determination. They've been attacking the closeouts more at the three-point line. That's going to be really important, especially with Tyler Hero being in this game. And the Bulls just got to bring it, man. They got to be prepared. They got to bring it. If they don't, it's going to be one of those games where it could definitely get away from the Chicago Bulls, right? So Bam Adebayo, that matchup is going to be really important as well. Khalil Ware is going to be another one that's important for this Bulls team against this Miami Heat team because if they go to that double big lineup, right? Something that Billy Donovan is always reluctant himself to play as a double big lineup. If the Miami Heat go to that, and we've seen Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo play really well in some stretches together as well. If they do that, that's going to put them more pressure on the boards, right? And that's going to just make it a more difficult game for the Chicago Bulls on that rebounding part of it. So you want to look out for that, right? You want to look out for that double big lineup. And with the Bulls playing a not as traditional of a lineup, it's already going to put them at a deficit. So the Bulls got to be prepared for that. How they combat that is going to be really important. I'm trying to bring up, let's see what the Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo minutes have looked like so far. So Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware have played 302 minutes together so far in the season. They have a plus minus of plus 17, a plus defensive rating of 5. And oh, by the way, they also the rebounding percentage is out of this world. They're getting almost 60% of the rebounds when they're out there on the court together. Still a small sample size, right? So you want to look out for that. But that's a key part of this matchup tonight is that Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo front court. Because the Bulls, they could combat it. I think that the Bulls could very well play, go a more traditional lineup. Play some minutes with Jalen Smith out there with Zach Collins and Modest Bucelis at the 3. But I've lost all hope for Billy Donovan actually playing that type of lineup. So I won't hold my breath on that, but we'll see how the Bulls combat it, man. Hi from Australia. 11 the Bulls trying to win every game. A winning culture is what develops rings, not tanking. Shout out to Peter there. Better words have not been said. Watch out for Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson tonight. If they start, it's over along with Andrew Wiggins. Listen, if Andrew Wiggins starts getting hot from three, it's gonna be a very, very long night. Let's hope it's a Vegemite game. Listen, I hope for the Bulls to play well. Like, we'll see what comes from that. I'm seeing a lot of red. Good. Josh Giddey probably going to get a triple-double tonight. We'll see, man. It's going to be difficult with the rebounding aspect. This is a really good rebounding team, is the Miami Heat. So we'll see. I was going to go there. Zach Collins better be careful tonight. Khalil gave us problems. Now you spell Khalil Ware, but I got you. What's good, Haize? I'm going to be listening to this in the Bulls game while redoing my bathroom. Shout out to CP. Haize, what's the starting lineup looking like? We don't know. They don't announce it to about 20 to 30 minutes before the game. Collins is going to have his hands full against Bam and Ware. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not going to be easy at all. Didn't even know they had Davion. Wonder if Giddey will look to attack that, or if Mitchell is too tough of a defender despite being a midget. That'll be a fun matchup to watch. At a wedding right now, but I got to see the Bulls pregame show. Let's go Bulls. Let's get a big night from Gideon White tonight. Sucks about Io, one of my favorite players on this team. Yeah, it sucks to lose Io for the remainder of the season. He is a very important part of the Chicago Bulls team. The little bit of identity that we have, he definitely helps, bring all that together. So, but hopefully he heals up, get that rehab done early. And then we can look to see what we're going to be next season with Io. So apparently Joakim Noah is in the building, according to Cali. Hey, shout out to Joe for coming through. All we want is effort and heart. Don't nothing else matter at this point. Yeah, listen, I agree with you. And that's the thing. The only people complaining recently about the Bulls are the pro tankers, right? Which is weird because we've only won 4 games in a month. Right. But most of the Bulls fans, even despite us losing games, most Bulls fans are appreciating seeing this team play with the level of heart that they've played with. The only people I consistently see complaining and whining and moaning are the pro tankers. That's it. And like I said, they're still getting what they want. They won 4 games in a month. They out here acting like the Bulls have been going on a 4-game winning streak or something. What up, FK? Glad to have you in the building. They about to have Lob City on our bigs. No, they're not really a Lob City type team. Need another night like last game against the Magic. Haven't seen them play like that in a minute. It was great to see. Amanda, I don't know if the Bulls have been playing like that for a while. Honestly, the Bulls have been playing like that for a while. They just haven't been winning games. But the Bulls have been playing really, really fiery, inspired basketball for, I would say, probably at least the last 2.5 weeks, really. Vooch back? I don't see anything about Vooch being back. He's not on the Bulls social media. See when they announce the starting lineup. Andrew Wiggins is available for Miami today too. There you go. Forrest Phillips says, knock, sir, long time. How you doing? So I'm doing pretty. You were just in here on the last game. We saw you. No, but I'm glad to have you in the building, brother. Haize, Modest is going to get his ass handed to him tonight by Bam. Lord help our rookie. Listen, the one thing that I've seen with Modest is that he does learn in game. So we'll see. I won't just assume it. We'll see. But he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him today. That's for damn sure. Missed the Magic game due to a work shift. Let's get back-to-back dubs. See red. Did they shut down Vooch for the season, or is he hurt? I've seen him miss a couple of games. Vooch is shit. Are we near double digits for Vooch games missed yet? He has a quad injury. So I'm assuming Wiggins is going to be on Kobe a lot tonight. Let's hope someone can actually step up. We'll see. Hopefully Modest can find his shot this game because we're going to need it. I'll be at the game in Houston next Saturday. Shout out to you for being able to go to a game, brother. Glad to hear it. What impressed you the most about Modest this season, and what do you have for Modest going forward? I feel like I talk about this every stream. What's impressed me about Modest the most, I think his dribble. I think his handles are more advanced than I thought they were, right? really advanced for his dribbles. What I want to see from Modest is I want to see him be a more consistent jump shooter, because I think with his handles and his quick first step and his ability to leap, I've talked about how Modest really doesn't have a mid-range game yet, but I think he can supplement not having a mid-range game by having a consistent jump shot. If you have a consistent jump shot and they have to play you honestly on that jump shot, with everything else that he has, tools in the shed, he can get to that rim and maybe even draw some fouls. So that they have to play him at all three levels, even though he's not a three-level scorer yet. So that's really what I see. That shooting consistency is one of the biggest things that I want to see him work on for sure. If they play like they played last game, they definitely can win this game easily. Miami isn't a threatening team in my eyes. Alex, here's the thing, though. They've been very injured. They've actually had moments of looking like a really damn good team. The Miami Heat, like, they haven't been consistent with it, but they've definitely had some moments looking like a really good team. Get a Haize, nice drip, mate. Can't get that in OZ. Giddy up. Hey, you can. Everything that I order can be shipped everywhere, right? You just got to know where to get it, man. You just got to know where to get it. But this is new. This just came in today. I love that. Like, that's just an interesting way to write Chicago. I love that they finished it with the Bull. Love that. So yeah. Vooch is out, confirms Troy. No way we lose this game after how well they played last game. I can see it staying in the play-in spot. Go Bulls. Oh, no, you can't say there's no way they lose this game. This is Chicago Bulls. We were one of the most inconsistent teams, and we lose a lot. But, yeah, we're not – either way, the Bulls can lose the rest of the games, and they're still going to be in the play-in. I think the Bulls may end up – they have a chance, right? I think they get over 30 wins, but they have a chance to be the first sub-30 team to get in the play-in tournament. And then Adam Silver may literally cancel the play-in tournament. Okay, to be fair, I'm very pro tank, but I ain't mad at no wins. I ain't trying to watch the Bobcats. Jesus Christ. Bulls gave Vucevic the old Yeller treatment. That's hilarious. Our recent losses have still been respectable performances, even against the Cavs. We were in that game until the fourth quarter. 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. I'm on the lookout for Wiggins and maybe Jaime Jaquez. Yeah, I mean, Jaime is definitely a player that you got to look out for. You definitely got to look out for that. So we'll see. Do you think Modest going to be all rookie? No, he's not going to be all rookie first team. I don't think I think he came on too late to be all rookie first team. I do think his play over the since he's been a starter is definitely worthy of all rookie first team. I don't know if he's going to get voted in. I think they'll probably vote him in all rookie second team for sure. Was thinking, but what team will Vooch fit in when we let him go this offseason? Listen, Josh, I can't even. This is the Chicago Bulls. I can't even guarantee that they're going to offload him this season. I know there's been talk about that. I know they said that the Bulls did some groundwork on offseason move, things like that. We'll see, but until stuff happens with the Bulls, I've learned to never assume, right? I need him in the gym with KD or PG, just someone who would teach him to take over at mid-range and develop some moves. Look, everybody makes too much of players working out with for example, Dalen Terry has worked out with PG every offseason since his rookie year coming into the league. What has that done with him? You want him to work with the trainers. I'm not worried about him working with PG or KD. I'm worried about him getting in the lab with Peter Patton. That's the guy who's actually developing. That's the guy who's in charge of player development. That's what I'm most excited about, because Modest Bucelis stays in Chicago. He lives in Chicago. So that means he's going to be at the Advocate Center working out with Peter Patton. They're going to be able to have workout development plans all summer long, similar to Ayo Dosunmu before the start of last season. So I'm not worried about him getting in the lab with any other. I'm just not worried about it. Like shit, we saw goddamn Patrick Williams work out with DeMar every summer. DeMar was here. Hell, he killed it in the Drew League. He worked out with other stars. It didn't do shit. I want him to work with the actual trainer. Well, I know Bam probably going to cook us since we have no interior defense at all, since we have like 12 guards on the team. Same. I wouldn't mind him playing at the guard spot. The switchability would be crazy. I went back and looked at some of his old stuff. It was impressive. Who you talking about, JK? I lost the plot there. I'm not sure you're talking about. Do you think either Julian or Dalen would take more than 8 shots to get at least 2 steals? Look, come on. What kind of specific question is that shit? What? Stop getting high, bro. Dumb question, but if we make the play-in, will we still qualify for a top 14 pick? I'm unclear on the subject. Yes. So the only way that the Bulls aren't still in the lottery is if they make it out of the play-in and go into the playoffs as the 8th seed. That's the only way that they would lose their lottery pick. At that point, it'll just be, they'll still have their own first round pick, but it won't be a lottery pick. Fanatics doesn't ship to Australia, unfortunately, due to ongoing trademark dispute. Yes, but the Bull store does, right? Most of the stuff that's on Fanatics is also on the Bull store. Also, look at Pro. I got this one from Pro Standard. I think Pro Standard does ship internationally, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me double check on that before I lead people wrong. Give me 1 second. That's where most of the like super unique things that like this, it comes from Pro Standard. Just a FYI, like Pro Standard is one of those places that does like really creative things with their NBA licensing. Not to say that Fanatics doesn't too. But they're just a lot more creative more regularly. Yes, so there's a site called ussportshq.au that shops Pro Standard gear to Australia. I'm gonna put this in the chat. So there you go. I'll put this in the chat. I got y'all. See, listen, I got y'all. Modest is young. In a couple of seasons, he would definitely be a great asset. You can see flashes of it his rookie season right now. I mean, I think he's already an asset. He's leading the team in blocks. Like he's already shown some of the things he can absolutely do to help to help basketball teams. Like rim protection is hugely important. And the rim protection that Modest Bucilis brings as a rookie is crazy, right? So as he continues to grow in that, it's going to be really fun to watch. Oh shit, I didn't know that, but that's why I just said someone. I named those guys someone who has modest build. Oh, gotcha. Let's make Peter Patton. I don't know if I spelled his last name right. The head coach, the guy clearly knows how to develop players. Yeah, but developing players and coaching are two very different skill sets. So I don't know. I don't know if he's ever coached in his life, right? So I don't know if he can draw up a scheme. I don't know that, right? Like just because he can teach players how to shoot better jump shots doesn't necessarily mean that he can do those other things, right? If you had to compare Modest's ceiling to one player, who would it be? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think Modest is a very unique player. Yeah, yeah, I really would struggle to think of who is a good comp for Modest Bucilis right now with how much that we've seen from him and how raw he still is, right? Though I doubt the Bulls will ever use a trade exception, but who would you use the 12 million trade exception if you were the GM? I don't know, bro. I don't even know who's going to be available yet. You got to wait till we get into the offseason for that. Y'all asking me offseason questions, man. Ben Simmons definitely plays more aggressive than P. Will. It's hit or miss with Ben Simmons. It's not consistent. It's not like he puts consistent pressure on there. So I won't say that that's consistently like because we see the occasional P. Will aggressive game as well. Haize, the podcaster, writer, dad, son, and clothing plug. That is hilarious. Ben Simmons knows his ass and scared of his own shadow. No, he's ass. Not P. Will thinks he's a dog. P. Will is Delulu, bro. Like, I don't want neither one of them right now. Honestly, unpopular opinion, but I prefer that the team always compete. So a playing spot is fine for me. It gives them experience they will need in the future that need to become battle. Okay, here's the thing that you more than just the pseudo experience in the playing. Like what did the playing do for P. Will? What has the playing done for Julian Phillips? Hell, what did a playoff series do for? Don't forget, P. Will was in a playoff series. What did that do for him? You need talent. All this rah, yeah, let's go ahead and get this playing experience. That all sounds great, but you still need talent in the NBA, right? And this Bulls team is just not good enough. We all know that they're not good enough to go anywhere. All that, I don't think that a play-in tournament is adding any more experience than what they're getting learning how to play right now at this point in the season. I just don't think so. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying that I'm more right than you. I'm just saying, like, what did you look at that actual playoff series? Like, if you're not equipped with skill, what are you really learning? You're just showing up to get your ass kicked. What did that playoff series do for any of our young players? Ayo had his worst season of his career the year after making the actual playoffs. Kobe White had the worst season of his career after being in the actual playoffs. Patrick Williams has been Patrick Williams before and after going to the actual playoffs, right? I'm just saying, most work is done in the offseason. This thing that we like to think, like, once you're at a certain level, yes, you need to learn how to win and get over the hump in the playoffs, but you need skill to do that. Most of the work and development is done in the offseason. Ayo didn't develop coming off a playoff or play-in appearance. He developed because he worked with Peter Patton for a whole summer and came out that gate firing. He altered his shot, all that type of stuff. Kobe White came after working with Peter Patton for an offseason and going through a summer of going through the Drew League and other things, working with DeMar, right? Working with his own trainers. Like, I don't think playing experience specifically does much. Now, if you're talking about playoff experience, if your team is good enough and you're well coached enough, you can learn something for playoffs. But even then, you got, if you're just going to go in and be cannon fodder for the team that you're going to be playing against, I don't know how much that really helps you. Is Jay Smith good to go? I missed what happened on his way out last. He got fouled out. So he played last game. I don't think anything injury-wise has happened since then. He should be good to go today. He fouled out in the last game. So I just hope the front office doesn't F up and keeps Giddey this out. They will keep Giddey. You think keeping Giddey? Are you saying you hope they do keep Giddey? Or are you saying that that's fucked up if they keep Giddey? What type of player mindset are you looking for in the draft? I'm looking for talent. So that's what it goes down to. Zach should have been shopped years ago when he signed the 40. You're never. Here's the thing. Everybody likes to say that, but there's not a single franchise in the NBA that would trade a player after they just built the team around their skill set and they just signed that player to an extension. There's not a single one that would trade them the year after that. They just wouldn't. Then he got hurt. And then other things. Then they started trying to shop him. By then, it was difficult to match him. There's not a single team that would have shopped him then. Now, if you want to say that they should have shopped him before giving him that extension, but then this front office had just came on, right? They should get rid of the play-in tournament. A lot of people do agree with you there. Watch a video about Ace Newell, and damn, you're right. Him and Modest would be a nasty 1-2 punch as forwards. Also need to see Modest on the gym with Kobe and dribble too much this offseason. Well, here's the thing. This is why, I think Modest's dribble is cool. Like, I want to see him work on other things. But again, I don't want to act like it's just automatic. Like it's like you send them to get XP. Because Patrick Williams has worked with dribble too much 3 years. Has Patrick Williams' dribble look better? And maybe it just comes down to Patrick Williams isn't a good barometer to use for that type of conversation because he's P. Will. That may be the thing there, right? I know what you mean, Haize, but the pieces we keep, at least when they are competitive, they will have some taste of playoff ball. They will. Yeah, but I mean, a taste of it if you're getting your teeth kicked in, what does that really do for you? Also, and bro, P. Will is trash. He's a big time bust for real. He pissed me off. We need to trade him. Well, you can't. You're not. Who's going to take him? Would you trade for a player that you just said is a bust? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Zach is gone. I'm pissed about the deal in return we got, but it is what it is. I mean, hell, the return we got have been playing better as a collective. We've been playing better as a collective with them, right? But I get what you're saying. These last few games have been great to watch. We are cutting to the basket way more and not just shooting for the sake of shooting, mixing it up way better than before. Yeah, attacking the paint has been really big for the Bulls. Really big for the Bulls. Do you feel that if we got another coach that they'd get more out of P. Will, or do you think it's just on him? Listen, I've said it before. P. Will's worked with DeMar. He's worked with Dribble Too Much. He's worked with Peter Patton. At this point, you've assembled the the damn O.J. Simpson defense team of development for Patrick Williams, and ain't shit come out of it. So I think at some point you just got to look at it and just be like you can't develop a apple out of a turd. Sometimes a turd's just a turd, bro. You can polish off a turd as much as you want. It's still shit. It's still shit. And that may be where we are with P. Will. No, keep the playing tournament. NBA should get rid of incentivizing losing. Just give every team that doesn't make the playoffs the same chance at the top pick. I get what you're getting at with that. But then here's the thing that you run into, right? And this is why they do it as a lottery, because here's the problem that you run into. Let's say, for example, the Dallas Mavericks miss out on that's not a good example because they traded Luka. Let's say the Spurs. Let's say the Spurs barely miss. They weren't really in it either. I'm trying to find a good example. The reason why you won't go to flat odds is because if teams the time that when you run into a couple of years in a row where teams that barely missed the playoffs that are good, let's say they missed it because of injury or whatever else it is, they get a number 1 overall pick. Keep in mind the reason the lottery odds are there is to give smaller market teams the chance at players, because usually small markets have the worst teams, right? So I don't know if they'll ever go to something like that personally. AK has a plan for P. Will. Hopefully that plan is to tell him, like, listen, here's the thing. P. Will's a fine role player. It's just we look at P. Will because he was drafted 4th overall, but like as a role player, P. Will's a fine role player. Like the one thing when people were like, well, he's so much better off the bench. No, go look at his bench numbers versus his starting numbers. They're the exact same. But as a 40% 3-point shooter and a solid defender coming off your bench, there's a lot of teams that want that, right? He was drafted too early. Put him in a package with Vooch, Pat, and 2nd round pick for a decent young big man or a couple of 2nd round picks. You're not going to do that. Putting Vooch with Pat is $40 million, right? And keep in mind, like Vooch is also expiring. We'll see what happens. I would say this. No, it doesn't. And the reason why it doesn't get rid of tanking is because let's say you're the 7th seed, and then you look at it and say, well, if we lose these last 5 games, we can have the same odds. Let's say you're the 7th seed with a 35-win record, and towards the end of the season, you're like, yeah, I don't feel confident we can come out the playoffs. We can lose the next 8 games in a row, and we'll have the same exact odds as a 10-win team. Nothing gets rid of tanking. There's no way that you can get rid of the only thing. It's impossible to get rid of tanking. So no, it doesn't get rid of tanking. It's literally impossible to get rid of tanking because there's always going to be an incentive to be worse, no matter how you look at it. And that, like I said, in that case of flat odds, you're incentivizing a team that could be a 40-win team. Oh, bet. Let's lose the last 8 games. Tim Duncan, you're sitting, right? So you don't get rid of tanking. There's no way to eliminate tanking in sports. The apple turd analogy had me thinking of Star Trek Discovery, where the Orion was eating an apple and the Admiral told her she was eating shit just reconstructed. That is hilarious. I don't even watch Star Trek Discovery, so I didn't even know. That's crazy. Who would do that? Teams that want a better odd of drafting the player. A lot of teams would do the same teams that look at it as tanking now. Yeah, but listen, people use that P. Will wasn't a starter. Devin Booker wasn't a starter in college. Zach LaVine wasn't a starter in college. We can keep it going. Devin Vassell wasn't. I don't think Scotty Barnes was a starter in college. That whole thing of, oh, you didn't start in college, how can you start in the NBA? There have been a lot of examples of that just not holding true, right? So I'm not holding them against that, but they just evaluated the talent wrong. I want to believe Kobe will have a nasty game again, but he's probably has always been consistency. I'm a huge fan of Kobe, though he is my favorite player on the Bulls. Yeah, I mean, I love Kobe, right? But sometimes you just got to acknowledge who Kobe White is. He's a very inconsistent player. Really, this is just teams that suck tanking. Changing it means teams like the Pacers will just tank. Exactly, right? Changing it to flat odds actually incentivizes tanking more. Because let's look at the Orlando Magic, for example, right? We know that the Orlando Magic are better than the 29 win record, right? They're right there in the play-in, right? They can literally over the course of the last 3 weeks of the season could theoretically be like, all right, bet if we're gonna have the same odds as a 35-ish win team probably by then, as a team that won 12 games, we're gonna have the exact same odds, but we can add another superstar to Paolo Banchero and Franz. What are we trying to win games for at the end of that? We're clearly not going to come out the East. It's incentivized to tank at that point, right? Actually, you're right. I forgot about his contract. My fault. I'm a little drunk. I'm at a wedding, but I don't care. Bulls Nation come first all day, every day. We appreciate you, brother. At the very end of the year, if that did happen, that's still better than teams like the Wizards choosing to lose. The Wizards are just a bad basketball team, though. And that still doesn't change it. There's still going to be teams every year that come in and say, yeah, we're not good enough. We just don't have a good roster. We're going to trade everybody. So there's no way that you can eliminate tanking. There's just none. Nothing changes by that. Weird thought, but the league should increase lottery odds and incentivize teams to make the playoffs. That way, with the play-in, you compete and land in the play-in, you get better odds than if you lose. Yeah, they're not going to do that. It's always going to be the worst team with the best odds because you want those teams to get better. Keep in mind, the NBA is still a business. You want every team to have a chance to be good, right? So you're going to want to always weight it to where the worst teams have the better odds. Doesn't mean they're always going to win it, but have the better odds to get the better picks. Now, if you just have a stupid franchise, that's on you, right? Hey, this may be reaching, but I believe that Patrick Williams would probably needs to go get used to his new body because he did put on a lot of muscle, and I don't think he knows how to play with it. I don't think he should ever put on that much muscle, to be 100% honest with you. This is how you end tanking. The NBA makes a rule where no team can be in the top 3 in consecutive years, like the Stepien rule. It still doesn't end tanking. Still doesn't. There's still going to be teams then that say, okay, bet. Now I'm tanking harder, right? Because if now you're telling me that a team that sucked for the last 3 years, you've gotten 15 wins each season for the last three years, you're already not going to be able to get a top 3 pick? Bet. Say less. Right? Because they're still going to get a lottery pick, right? So, no, there's no way to eliminate tanking. There's zero way to eliminate tanking. I think Orlando needs a point guard. Suggs, in my opinion, feels like a number 2 defensive wing. Defensive wing for Suggs? No, Suggs is a guard. At worst, I mean, I guess you count shooting guard as a wing, which technically it is, but no, Suggs is a point guard. I don't think he can score off ball enough. He needs the ball and be in his hands. Hello, yeah, the Wizards could win like another 6 games and still be trash in that scenario. Oh, hey, people can use stats to prove anything. 40% of all people know that. That's silly. The lottery is some backroom unseen anyway. It's probably fixed. No, it's not. Will Gottlieb has seen it. They bring media in every year to watch the lottery. So it's not. And Will Gottlieb has said, and others, that it's impossible to fake the lottery once you see it. Once you see the way that they do it, because it is seen. They actually bring media in, and they have a committee that watches and oversees the process. So I get it. People saying that it's fixed, but it's not. We actually have documents of people who were in there watching the lottery when it happened. What's up, my baby Loki? What's up, baby Loki? You good? It's a baby Loki. Oh, did you scratch your nose? What happened? What happened? All right, let me finish the stream. I'll pet you during the game. Let me finish the stream, son. Go to your person. Go play with Allen. Send P. Will and Carter to the Wizards. That's hilarious. Okay, have a 3-point shooting contest for the top pick. We get to watch the team with the worst record get more time to shoot. That is hilarious. When I'm talking about P. Will never being a true starter, I was talking about him in the NBA. Oh, okay, I got you. I mean, no, and that's the thing. There are definitely teams that Patrick Williams can start on. Those teams have to be much better, right? Because I think if you're looking at a team where you're a top-heavy team, right? Like, for example, I think P. Will could be a starting 3 on the Memphis Grizzlies. I think he'd start for the Memphis Grizzlies. You look at what they're getting with Desmond Bane, what they're getting with John Morant. I think a player that can get you 10 points per game on 40% shooting that you can create, that can hit that corner 3 for you. I think that could help. Like, there's teams that P. Will can start on. The Bulls just haven't been good. Was P. Will better his rookie year? I asked because I remember him attacking the rim, getting boards, and looking to attack, but now he's constantly unsure of himself. And that goes to he was more athletic his rookie year, and I think that goes back to him adding so much muscle that has affected his athleticism. That's why I don't want to see the Bulls try to force Modest to be a 4. I just want I understand he's going to put on some natural weight, but I don't want them to try to do too much to there, right? Did you see Kendall Gill said about Modest and Cooper Flag? Modest apparently used to best him every time. That's not true, and that's the tape is out there. Cooper Flag cooked Modest a few times, but you got to stop acting like one-on-one basketball in a practice setting where you can clearly see neither player was putting in their best effort. They were just training together. So no, Modest is not nearly the caliber of player Cooper Flag is. He's just not. Cooper Flag is much more sound defensively. He's much more sound in his fundamentals. So people who try to make that, like the people who say we already got a Cooper Flag and Modest Bucilis, are just making broad comparisons, and they haven't actually watched the intricacies of playing the game of basketball. So that's just that part of it, in my opinion, at least. Starting 5. You got Trey Jones, Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Modest Bucilis, Zach Collins. We about to get cooked. That's about to be funny. That's about to be crazy. But all right, y'all. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the pregame show, man. Make sure you guys stay in tune with us. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. In exchange for that, I'll be giving you the best daily Chicago Bulls content in all of podcasting and YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much for everything that you meant there, man. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See you right if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.